today's focus. Today we're going to focus on what exactly our job is, how it's done, and what happens without us. That means it's cheating, and we don't like it's cheating. We're going to learn what found money really is, our best sources, why we focus on foreclosure overbids, a little something about your state laws, and why it pays to be smart. We're going to be smart. So what is our job? Our job is actually very simple. We help people recover their lost and missing funds. Could it be any more clear? I don't think so. That's it in a nutshell. People have funds that are due them. They don't know about them. We're going to find the money, find the people, and connect the two. And we're going to contact them. Our goal is to get them under contract. We have an agreement with them where we say we'll find the money, we'll process the claim, and when funds are recovered, we'll split them with you on a percentage basis. Now, normally that means they get 60%, we get 40%, and we think that's just fine. That way there's nothing out of pocket to them. They don't feel threatened or feel like there's some sort of scam happening. We're never asking for them to write a check or anything like that. Our business is 100% contingency based. If we don't collect anything, they don't owe us anything. Very simple. Once we have them under contract, we process their claim. Now, we either assist them or we do it ourselves. Probably 99% of the time, at least from here on out, we're processing these things 100% ourselves. We can't allow claimants to be involved in that because they sometimes drag their feet or just don't get the stuff done that needs to get done. So what we'll do is we'll process the claims for them. Eventually, it'll go through the agency. They'll have their own process to confirm it's a real thing, and then they will send us a check. Once we get the check, we wait 30 days to make sure all the dust is settled, all the expenses are in. There's nothing new from the agency to maybe unwind that deal or anything like that. And once 30 days has expired, we'll split the funds with them by sending them a check, and at that point, we get to deposit our own check. What happens without us? Well, bad things happen. If we're not around, people flat out will lose their money. They never learn about it and receive nothing. There's a process called escheating that allows government agencies to take possession of the funds if they're not claimed in a certain amount of time. Now, we think that's a terrible idea. We think people who are owed their money should be able to keep their money. We don't like escheating. We're committed to doing whatever it takes to get these people their money because we think cheating is just plain wrong. I'm determined to make sure it never happens if that's at all possible. What is found money? What are we going after? What is this really all about? Well, found money can be described as private funds held by government agencies waiting to be claimed. Some of our best sources are foreclosure related, foreclosure overages, tax sale overages. There are also things like miscellaneous unclaimed funds, abandoned assets, and even inheritance due to missing heirs. We're not going to mess with those. We're going to mess strictly with foreclosure overbids. In your area, they could be called any number of things: excess funds, surplus funds, overbids, remainders, overages, and even excess proceeds. What we need to do is figure out exactly what they're called so we can kind of learn the rules of the game. And we do that by looking at your state law. So we can decide exactly what they expect. What are the rules of the game? What do they call overages? Once we know what they're called and how the state has it set up, we can come up with a game plan based on how the game is played. Again, there are rules, and we'll need to learn those rules in order to successfully do this. Now, be smart. A smart investor knows how the game is played before he licks his very first stamp. We can't go rushing into this thing because there are all kinds of laws that will impact us if we don't do it properly. That means it pays to do a little research, pays to do a little bit of homework, and understand exactly what it is we need to do. We're committed to play by the rules, but we can't do that if we don't first learn the rules. They really do matter. The takeaways. We help people recover their funds. It's very simple. They have funds that are sitting there unclaimed. We find them, we get them under contract, and we help them recover those funds. Found money can happen from a lot of different things, but we're going to focus in this training mainly on foreclosure overbids. We also know about is cheating. We know that government agencies get to keep this money if it's not claimed in the right amount of time. And we think that's a terrible idea. We don't like to see government agencies taking the funds of private individuals just because they haven't found them, or in some cases haven't even looked. I had a case of my own where a 79-year-old woman lost $162,000 when she hadn't claimed it in the 3 years that was the claim window. $162,000. I found her in 2 minutes. She was in the phone book all along. Now, how much work do you think they really spent trying to find her, particularly knowing that they get to keep the money if she doesn't show up? Again, we think it's cheating is a terrible, terrible thing. We also know by now that some funds aren't collectible. They're just not big enough, or it's too complicated. If it's a probate and there are 37 heirs, I don't care how big that claim is, that one might be a tough one. We're going to cherry pick. Let's go after the low-hanging fruit, and let's get the ones that are easy to get squared away. We also learned that this found money game is based on rules, and the rules are your state laws, and they'll tell us exactly what we need to know so that we can play this game in a way that will keep us out of trouble and make sure in the end we actually do get paid. We are committed to be smart. We are smart investors, and we're going to follow all the rules. Final thoughts. It's a really cool game, this overbid sort of found money game. There are funds happening and being created all over the place. Foreclosures are at an all-time high, so that means overages are happening as well at an all-time high. We need to tune in, figure out where they're at, and just get to work. And that's what we're going to do. This was step 1. I'll see you on step 2.